The U.S. tariffs are expected to have a significant impact on the Canadian economy, with small and medium businesses bearing the brunt of the pain. Quibino Duro visited one Quebec company concerned about Trump's trade war.
I'm at Algonquin Moldings in Maribor, Quebec. This is a cabinet and stair making company that sees 70% of their production go to the United States. This pallet right here, it's on its way to the States. It's going to Indiana. Over here is where they put the finishing touches on the wood before they package it. And when it's packaged, it's like this, and then the forklift comes, takes it over, and puts it with the rest of them that are going to the United States. There are about 50 to 60 employees that work here, but now with the tariffs in place, there's a lot of worry and uncertainty about job security here.
We can't really know before time what's going to happen. It's all about the uncertainty, not knowing if the tariffs are going to last, how long they're going to last, and how it's going to affect our customers in the States if the orders are going to keep coming in. So it's hard to reassure everybody since nobody knows what's going to happen.
And when we talk about job losses, are the employees worried about that? Are you worried about that?
I personally am, because we're at the mercy of the decisions that are out of our hands.
The company recently made efforts to expand production because of the growing sales to the United States. They installed these $12 million AI wood filtering systems to help cut lumber more efficiently.
The plant is running since 25 years to supply the U.S. market. Did the plant would run next week? I don't have the answer.
And when we talk about counter tariffs, do those affect you? If so, how?
Yeah, it affects us a lot. You know, all the lumber that we have to buy it either in the U.S. side and in the Canada side. So the counter tariff that Trudeau put in place, it will affect us a lot.
It's not the only Canadian business that's facing uncertainty now. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says 20% of Canadian small businesses feel they won't survive prolonged tariffs from the United States. The federal and provincial governments are working on reducing the interprovincial trade barriers, so businesses like this one can increase their sales within Canada. They are also looking for new markets to partner with within other countries. For staff here, they are holding out hope that all this will work and that tariff wars won't put them out of work. Quibino Duro, CBC News, Mirabel, Quebec.
So that's the story of Canadians exporting to the United States. Let's take a look at Americans importing those goods. And joining us now is Michael Howard, owner of Howard Family Designs. He's in Warren, Michigan this evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. So how are you feeling about this trade war?
I would say just like everyone else, this is kind of thrust into a field of chaos with not knowing which way is up, which way is south. And so not too easy when it impacts our business and our family.
And are you seeing, I mean, we're only day 2 here. Are you seeing an impact in these early hours?
Absolutely. I was at a lumber store today, and the price for a sheet of plywood is nearing $90, when just a couple months ago, I bought that same piece of plywood for $60.
So I hate doing math live on the air, but 60 to 90, that's an increase of 50% for that plywood. I assume that's not only about tariffs. So any idea why the prices jumped so much?
I mean, I think in part some of it is in preparation as a business. If this tariff is going to get slapped on of 25%, you have to prepare because you have responsibilities for employees and overhead and a lot of other things. And so I can just imagine that lumber suppliers or box stores are taking advantage of those, like you saw during COVID, where prices were skyrocketed as well.
Yeah, man, like it's one thing to pass on actual increase in prices and expenses like the tariffs, but to have an increase that's so much bigger seems to be problematic. But what does that mean for you when the price of plywood has gone up so much?
For us, it could potentially mean a sharp decrease in the amount of business that we have. When it comes to purchasing plywood, we do a lot of kitchen cabinets, a lot of bookshelves, and all those things require plywood. And Canada is right across the border from us, and we get about 30% of all softwood, so 2x4s, plywood, OSB, things for flooring and roofing, and cabinetry. Canada is a huge supplier for a lot of those goods. So it means a decrease in sales, which means an impact on our family.
Your president has said to the auto industry that he wants American manufacturers to come up with a plan to import less stuff from Canada. What about on the wood side of this? Can you source your material from within the United States?
That's a really good question. The reality is the domestic demand here in the United States is greater than the domestic supply. So for the lumber industry, we rely on importing lumber because the lumber we have here is just, the supply is inadequate. And if we stopped importing lumber, the demand will outpace the supply, which will only, again, skyrocket the costs.
One of the things we heard earlier in the program is an assessment that for the president to kind of change his view on these tariffs, he has to hear not from Canadians, but from Americans. And not, obviously he's not watching this program, but if you were able to send a message to the White House, what would it be?
To be careful. Every decision that you make as a president, you are directly impacting the lives of us here in America, but the entire world. And so when you make a decision, you can hurt or you can help us as Americans. And a lot of people voted because we wanted to see our lives better. And that is currently not the case right now.
And I know you touched on it, but let's finish with this, if we may. If these tariffs were to remain in effect, if the cost of Canadian plywood remains as high, so much higher as it is right now, what impact does it have on your business?
For us, we would have to transfer that cost to our customers, and then our customers would have to decide whether this bookshelf or kitchen cabinet set or whatever item we're selling is worth it to them at that point. And then that would, if they decide not to, that means lost revenue for our business. We really try to be charitable in our community. And so a lost revenue to my business means it impacts my ability to be charitable to my community. It impacts my ability to provide for my family, which are two things that during this troubling time is not great to have to wrestle with.
Late in the evening, I know, in Warren, Michigan. So, Michael, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you so much. It was great to talk to you.
Michael Howard is the owner of Howard Family Designs.